maybe more easily see. So welcome to week 2 of Smart Strength. So last week we did quite a lot of rocking. We'll start with a rock after we've done a short breathing practice, and then it will be more about the breath. So that's the reason I'm bringing the breath in at the beginning. So what I would like you to do, obviously if you need to clear your nostrils, please do get a tissue or something, but generally most people hopefully are okay. Just going to close one nostril with your thumb, and therefore you're breathing through the other nostril on its own. So keeping the mouth closed if you can, taking about 3 slow breaths here. So you don't want to get it agitated, you want to keep it calm, lengthen it if you can, but don't force anything. Relax the shoulders. Keep the jaw relaxed. So the tongue's kind of on the roof, just above the teeth if you don't know what to do with that. So when you've done one side 3 or 4 times, just switch, yeah? So thumb blocks other nostril. Particularly on the out breath, you're trying to relax a little bit. So I know you're looking outward, but try and kind of defocus a little bit, and that'll help calm things down as well. And when you've done about 3 or 4 on each side, just come back to breathing through both nostrils. Just for a moment, just check how that's going. Can you breathe? How's it feel in the nostrils? Hopefully you feel got more space to breathe through the nasal cavity. So what we're going to do now is we're going to focus a little bit on the out breath, not for too long. So again, I think all of you are familiar with this kind of breathing out through pursed lips to lengthen the out breath. So my suggestion is you breathe in through your nose and then longish out breaths through your lips, and then repeat. And again, we're just looking at maybe 4, let's go 4 or 5 times. So taking a breath in. And when you're ready to breathe out, just purse the lips and do a really soft breath. And again, you really relax the shoulders, relax any tension in the body on the out breath. So you will find that the in-breath also gets longer because you're getting a longer out-breath, so just let that happen. And the sound, if you have any sound, will be more like the sound of the sea from the blowing out through your lips. So one more round. And then again, come back to a normal breath. If you can for a moment, come back to breathing in and out through your nose. You might find you get a swell of breath coming into your chest there. Okay, so not for the first set of movements we do, but after that I will be suggesting that you breathe through your nose and you blow out through your lips, and certain times pausing the breath. So, and if it doesn't make sense or you don't like it, you go back to whatever breathing pattern feels okay. Okay, so I'm just suggesting that as a way of calming the body before we start. So as last week, we're starting on a bum with the feet, and have your feet quite away in front of you. That's a little bit easier to sit comfortably, and a bit more chance of your sitting bones going down. I've got my feet broadly hip distance apart. That's what I'm suggesting. If it feels more comfortable a little wider, that's fine. So as last week, we're taking the arms in front of us. Hopefully you can see us back a bit more, be a bit clearer. And we're just rocking forward and back. Yeah, so we're not going back very far. We're just, you might feel a sensation on your sitting bones that you are kind of going over your sitting bones and back. So you choose how much you kind of want to have a sense of coming forward. Yeah, so you can even lengthen a little bit more as you take your hands away. And then it's a little bit more kind of relaxed as you come back. And you just find your own breath. You can breathe in and out through your nose for this first one. That's great. If you can't, then you can't. Don't worry about it. And it's just waking up the body, and using the rocking as we did last week to kind of start to do a little bit of engagement through the belly and the glutes. So we're focusing very much on core and glutes this week. So changing the arm movement so that you take your arms wide as you come back, and then again, same position for coming forward. So there's a little bit more sense of stability through the shoulders when you take the arms into this open position. And there'll be a position that feels kind of right with this in terms of how much of a lean back you get, where you feel really stable across your arms, your shoulders, your shoulder blades. And when you open up, you might feel a little bit more going on in your belly. Yeah, you may have completely forgotten what on earth's going on in your bum in terms of your sitting bones, and that's fine. Okay, but we're just keeping whatever breath works, so just keeping it subtle. And then the last movement is the arms up movement, the cactus arms. So we're keeping cactus arms to come forward and back. You won't want to come as far forward, you'll find, because it's a little bit stronger for most of us, keeping in that position. So it feels like to keep you back in with integrity, that you can't come forward as much, and you probably don't want to go too far back because you've got to get yourself forward again. Get the picture. Okay, and then we'll just go back to the as we did at the beginning, because it's a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more relaxing, maybe, to calm things down again. Okay, and relax the arms down. So we're coming onto our back with the feet on the floor as they were, with the knees bent. So taking the arms now, stretching the arms up towards the skies with the palms facing each other. You can have fingers quite alive here. And we're going to then pick the feet off the floor. You don't have to if you don't want to. That's going to bring a little bit more work going on into your core. Yeah. So take the knees in one direction and arms in other direction. So this movement here. So just get a sense of the movement first. You choose how far you go with your arms and how far you go with your legs to one side. And then my suggestion is you do an in-breath as you come into this neutral position. Sorry, you do an in-breath, as you go into your twist. So your knees go away, your arms go away. And as you bring yourself back, you do that pursed lips, out breath. Breathing in as the arms go away from the legs, through the nose, pursed lips to get yourself back. So it's slowing things down. If you want to bring your heels higher, so it's more kind of a 90-degree angle, i.e. heels in front of knees, you can do. So one more each side. Well done. Gently returning the feet to the ground. And arms to the ground, as well. So you can just relax there. And you may already feel some changes in your back. Yeah, so just thinking, being aware of what's going on in the arch of your back. How you feel down the sides of the body here. Okay, so we'll just do a relaxing movement now before we move on. So just keeping the feet on the floor, let the knees drift over to the right and the left. So you can choose, if you like the version where you have your feet wide as the mat, then you can do that bigger distance between your feet. If you're quite happy with them more at a hip distance, then do the hip distance. So just loosening through the center for a moment. So no breath work there. Okay, and then back into neutral, so pausing with the feet still. Now, I'm suggesting that the feet are hip distance again, and you take the feet further away from the bum. Okay, so we're going to be doing some movements that we're going to repeat a number of times. So we'll be doing 2 together. two different types of movement, and then we'll repeat them, but hopefully they become clear as we go along. So extending your arms up like we did before, taking a breath in, and on a breath out, using your arms and mainly your core, blowing through the lips to sit up. Pause the breath to come back down. Take an in-breath when you're back down, which can get an arch in your lower back at that stage. Out breath, bring the belly in and sit up. So it's not easy, but having the feet further distance away, coming back down with a pause breath, having the feet further away, for most people that's doable. If the back doesn't feel safe, then just repeat what we were doing before. So if you can continue a little bit with this, so it's a breath in neutral, a breath out, come up, and a pause breath to go back down. Hold on. So we round the back as we come down. Try and relax for a second before we take an in-breath and start everything again. So if you can do 2 more, that'd be great. So when you're down, relax the arms. Just bring the knees into the chest, take the hands onto, one hand onto each knee, and just do little circles on your lower back. Just have a little bit of respite. So you can come back to just breathing through your nostrils again. If you can't again, that's fine. Just whatever's going to help you recover. Okay. So feet back down. And if you take one hand up behind the head, elbow out to the side, the other arm can just lie by your side, yeah? So most of you know this diagonal arch and curl. It sounds complicated, but it's basically the elbow will be going to the opposite knee. Obviously, we're picking that foot up in order to get the knee and elbow almost in contact. So here, just take a breath in, maybe arching the back a little bit. And on the breath out, you come up and elbow to opposite knee, and then you hold the breath and you bring yourself back down with as much control as you can. You land and you take an in-breath again, a little bit of an arch in the lower back. Out breath, lower back comes down, blowing through the lips to get the elbow towards the opposite knee. And unfurl by pausing the breath. So repeating this. So next time you're down, swap the hands over. So the opposite hand's behind the back of the head, elbow going out to the side. The other arm can just rest by your side. Same thing, take an in-breath, create a little bit of an arch. An out-breath, belly that goes in as back goes down. You curl in. And then you unfurl on a paused breath. You can. Yeah, so you've got this pattern now. The in-breath is while you're sort of stationary, creating the arch in the lower back. The out-breath supports the belly coming into the lower back, opposite elbow to opposite knee. And unfurl on a paused breath. Continue if you can. You know, you can always pause completely. So after this one more, if you can. If you've had enough, then please respect that. And when you've finished, again, just relax, take the arms away from each other and pause. So my original intention was to repeat these two. I'm not going to do that because I want to get through a couple of other moves, to be honest. So in an ideal world, you'd repeat doing the first movements and then doing the second movements. But for now, we'll go on to something different. Okay, so rocking up or rolling over, and we're doing something similar to last week to start off with. So I've got you can either have your knuckles down, your fingertips or your hands behind you. Yeah, they're behind you. Your feet are in hip distance as previously. We're coming up, taking the bum off the floor to come to a kind of tabletop position. Sometimes then you need to do something different with your hands. You might need to change that to fists. So from here, just making sure you can get the glutes working. So just switch them on and off for a moment. So that means usually the bum goes up, the pelvis goes up, and then it goes down a wee way when you switch them on. So just so you know they're really able to work. Okay, I've got my chin more towards the chest to try and protect my neck. So from here, knuckles, here are knuckles, I think. We're going to just be stepping one leg in front of us, so just reach out the lower leg if you like, keeping the thigh broadly where it is. And see how it goes. So each time you extend the leg away, try and get a little bit more work going with the glute of the, I'm going to call it standing leg. So what I'm suggesting is you take an in-breath as you take your leg out. You take an out-breath when you're there, switching the glutes on, pushing the pelvis a little bit higher. And then you come back down and pause. Any issues with the arms or the wrists, just come into that. Manage a couple more on each side. If not, if it's just too much for the arms, just come out of it. So often when you're doing the out breath and the leg extended, you get a little bit, you sort of push down and get a little bit more work going on in the glutes and a bit more work. All of the body, really. Yeah, let's come out of that because the arms probably won't be able to feel anything with the arms now. That's just me shaking out the hands and the arms and the shoulders, and just let the breath come back again. And good news is we're not going to be using the wrists. So we'll be changing position. So we're coming into a plank with the forearms down. So I think we did rocking last week from here. So you can have initially your knees under your bum, hip distance. And then what we're going to do, we're going to have step out. So we're initially one leg, then the other leg. And we've got feet initially hip distance. So from here, take an in breath and an out breath. And then on an in breath, take one foot as wide as the mat and the other foot as wide as the mouth, and breathe out through the mouth. You breathe in, bring both feet back to hip distance, and then breathe out through your lips again. Repeat as you can, repeat a few more times, so you can keep going. So the out breath is helping you kind of get strength in your legs, in your glutes, in your belly, as you hold yourself in a stable position. So usually as you blow out, your belly will come in closer and give you that extra support. You can do one more in each position, that'd be brilliant. If not, just come down and rest. Coming back into hip position, bringing your knees down, bringing your belly down. Let's just have a rest. So you can take your elbows out to the side, stack your hands and just either put your forehead or one side of your head, if that's better for your neck. And just see if you get back to breathing in and out through your nose. Feel the belly swell a little bit on the in-breath and contract a little bit on the out-breath. So again, in an ideal world, we'd go back and do each one of those again. You're really lucky. We haven't got the time to do those again. So we're going to do one more movement here. So if you just come onto your forearms again, so you're in Sphinx position, so your elbows are below your shoulder, and sort of a little bit of pushing down through the hands, shoulders back if you can. So doing your best to kind of get on the centre of your knees so that you're not rolling your toes, your legs out to the little toe side or the big toe side if possible. If you can be on the top of your feet, that's ideal. So just see if you can just let the breath be comfortable here for a moment. Back of the neck is long, so you're looking a short distance in front of you, or even just at your thumbs. Okay, so we're going to go up in a moment into upward facing dog and then into cobra and move between the two. If you're not sure, I'll explain. So for the moment, just taking the elbows out to the side, just bringing the body a little bit lower down, and then bringing your hands kind of in front of your shoulders if you're going to be pushing up. So just below the shoulders, and then push, push, push until your arms are broadly straight. Again, unless that's too much. Shoulder blades come together and breathe out through your lips for a moment. Take a breath in when you're ready, through the nose. And take an out breath through your lips. Bend the elbows slightly, so kind of more of your pelvis rests on the floor. Elbows still are tucked in really there, and the shoulder blades are together. Again, just repeating a couple of long out breaths and a brief in breath. Well done. Push again through your arm, but this time come up onto your knees. Either cat-cow, or just take your hands forward and your bum back, yeah, so that you get length through your lower back now and get recovery. That's the good news, we're into recovery. So whichever one feels nice and is more accessible. Cat-cow, which is round in the back, remember, and then arching, going between the two. This one's just more of an extension, bum going back. So just for a moment, if you take, sorry, I'm going to change my mind. Bring your hands back to, so the arms are, wrists are underneath the shoulders. If you're in cat-cow, it's going to be, or where you already are. Bring the knees together and just do your figure of 8 movements, yeah? So it's like drawing a figure of 8 with your nose or your navel on the floor, your bums and your bum and your hips sort of does a semicircle, and then you go diagonal, then to opposite hands. Just loosen up a little bit there in the back. And take the bum in the opposite direction, so semicircle in the other direction, so you're doing a figure of 8. But in the opposite direction. Your 8 is your 8, so it can be big, small. Going slowly or going fast. Just find a rhythm. So we started with rhythm. And we're broadly ending with rhythm, but what I'd like just for a moment or two, if you pause that, if you come back to your comfortable sitting, yeah, it might be different. I think I might cross my legs this time. I just feel like doing that. Okay. And just for a moment, repeat as we did at the beginning. So just 3 times blocking one nostril and therefore breathing through the other with the lips closed. Really trying to relax the shoulders, the jaw, and the out breath. And swap it over when you've done those 3 breaths. Trying to find a relaxed position for the hands. So sometimes when we're pressing into the thumb, we overpress. It doesn't need to be really strong. We did about 3 on the second side. Just relax the arms. Feel the sensation of breath. Hopefully, again, like we did at the beginning, feel a little bit more space in the nostrils if you're not blocked in the nostrils for any reason. So I've been trying to keep the breath simple, but at the same time using the breath to support the movements and slow the movements down. They were more intense this week than they were last week. But the idea is you kind of grow the length of what you do, or you do more repeats of what you do with the support of the breath. That's kind of my thinking. Hopefully some of that is translatable to the real world. Okay, so thank you for coming. I won't see you next week, but I will be back the following week, so we have 2 more.